A trend that I noticed in this Diddy docuseries is that a lot of the folks that decided to finally speak up are people who spoke up not because they saw someone else getting hurt, but because they themselves got hurt.
They used to physically collect my semen in a cup. They collected.
Exhibit A, Diddy was a witch. Here's my proof.
So, when Satan and Luciferian orders, because what they're talking about in this trial is deep stuff. It is heavy stuff. It is dark stuff. It is making...
In P. Diddy's case, the sodomy ritual, yes, the ritual that they use in order to conjure up energy.
I love you too.
Not Diddy getting it from his mama. Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, has been accused of throwing S-parties in his childhood home. You guys, this...
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all pay. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in.
A trend that I noticed in this Diddy docuseries is that a lot of the folks that decided to finally speak up are people who spoke up not because they saw someone else getting hurt, but because they themselves got hurt. All this time, everyone knew what was happening to Cassie, but no one said anything. His producer spoke up because he didn't get paid. Now, yes, I know he was a victim, but he did not speak up until he did not get his money. A lot of these people who were sticking beside Diddy let him do whatever he wanted for years. It wasn't until they themselves became a victim to whatever Diddy was doing that now all of a sudden they got something to say. Everyone knew what Diddy was doing. Y'all knew he was responsible for Biggie and Tupac's death, but no one said anything. Y'all knew he was beating Kim Porter. Y'all said nothing. Y'all knew he was out here taking wives and girlfriends of his colleagues, but y'all said nothing. You guys also knew it was weird that he had this God complex, and y'all said nothing. I don't know, it just seems as if Diddy just finally pissed off the wrong person.
I watched the entire Diddy docuseries on Netflix, so you don't have to. Unless you already did, then let's talk about it. Here are the craziest things we learned. Sean Combs' The Reckoning breaks down decades of allegations against Diddy. It's produced by 50 Cent, who's never hidden how he feels about him. This may come with some bias, but also some alleged facts. The series paints Diddy as a serial abuser and a master manipulator, who spent decades dodging accountability. And it dives straight into the long-circulating theory that he may have had involvement in the murders of Biggie and Tupac. We get recordings from Keffe D, who was arrested for Tupac's murder in 2023. He recounts the night that Tupac was killed, claiming that Diddy agreed to pay him to take out both Tupac and Suge Knight, although he says the payment never came through. After Tupac's murder, the series alleges that Diddy pushed Biggie to promote his album in LA, despite knowing how dangerous it could be for him. He even reportedly made Biggie cancel a planned London trip so he could stay in LA longer, and Biggie was killed soon after. Diddy arranged a giant New York funeral for Biggie, which the series says that he bankrolled on Biggie's own estate, before he capitalized off this loss with a single missing you. We also hear from some of the women that he allegedly abused. One of them was former Danity Kane member Aubrey O'Day, who broke down on camera. She read an affidavit from a woman who claims she walked in on O'Day unconscious and partially clothed on a couch at Bad Boy Studios. She was allegedly being assaulted by Diddy and another man. O'Day said she has no memory of the incident, and she also says that she never drank enough to be in that state. She describes years of unwanted advances, explicit emails, and ultimately being pushed out of Danity Kane because she wouldn't participate in the things Diddy wanted her to. Jurors from his recent trial speak out too. One juror outright victim blamed Cassie for the abuse she received. He said, "If you don't like something, then you completely get out," as if people who are being abused always have a choice in the matter, as if he wasn't blackmailing people left and right. Another juror talked about how Diddy would stare at them during the testimony, reacting and making faces, to the point where the judge reprimanded him. And then there's the secret video footage. Netflix shows never-before-seen footage of Diddy pacing in a hotel room days before his 2024 arrest, stressing over the narrative, telling the unknown videographer what to shoot and how to shoot it, and scrambling to discredit the women coming forward. His team sent Netflix a cease and desist, but Netflix said that they're well within their rights to be using this footage. The documentary also analyzes where this behavior might have started. There was alleged abuse from Diddy's mother Janice, and apparently his childhood was full of chaotic parties and environments that could have shaped him. I personally can't believe that this man only got 50 months with time served. Even just from the video of him and Cassie in the hallway, he deserves so much more. If you've watched, let me know your thoughts in the comments. months.
A little over 8 years. The weirdest thing was they used to physically collect my semen in a cup. They collected my semen for like a year. It was creepy from the beginning, but after a while I just said, yo, what are you doing with my semen?
Not just Cassie, it's not just Kim Porter, it's so many other people. And by the way, in P. Diddy's case, the sodomy ritual, yes, the ritual that they use in order to conjure up energy, call it sexual magic, call it black magic, call it whatever you want, but they do that, okay? So never think that it's crazy and people don't do it. It goes all the way back to Egyptian chimes. It goes all the way back before Jesus. It goes all the way back. They do all kinds of energetic. It seems stupid to us if you say, I'm going to sacrifice somebody. That seems dumb. It's like, sacrifice them for what? But energetically, they're taking that energy. They are consuming that energy. When that happens, they get more energy. Now, what I'm seeing, and this is specifically coming from the energy of Kim, because I've been asking about it, she was actually, when I see her energy, okay, she's a strong, vibrant, articulate, even in spirit woman, and she wants her family to know she's okay. And she also wants people to know that this is not done, and that.
Now, I know a lot of people are going to say this is all woo-woo stuff, right? But in my opinion, Diddy was dabbling in some deep, dark spiritual things. Diddy was also doing X-magic, okay? Because what do you mean you were taking this man's men? You were collecting them every time this man come around to perform and do whatever he was paid to do. And on top of that, I talk about the whole Ezeli Dantor on Diddy's back, the statue of the Haitian Loa on Diddy's back, for protection and justice. But you don't get justice when you are harming women and children and working with a law who protects women and children. And on top of all of this, I don't believe Diddy got to the position that he's in. Yes, he was very ruthless. Yes, he's manipulative. Yes, he did whatever he needed to do, step on people's toes to get where he wanted to get to. But Diddy, I believe, tap into other things in order to get to this set position. And also the whole X rituals and the sodomy and all that stuff, children, men, you know, all of that stuff. I believe Diddy did tap into something very strong, and that's one of the reasons why it took so long for him to get caught, for things to get caught up to him. I believe Diddy, people caught him slipping. I think that's how he ended up with this. And also because 50 Cent is someone who plays the long game, just like Diddy. But I don't think Diddy actually was in his radar, or 50 Cent was in Diddy's radar, and that's the reason why 50 Cent caught him slipping, right? But I do believe that Diddy was tapping into some really dark ritual stuff to be able to do whatever he was doing. Because what do you mean, sir? You felt violated, you felt used, but you're getting the money to keep continuing to come. Even though the money wasn't enough, in my opinion, you continued to come. There was some sort of soul ties connected to all of these people that were involved with Diddy, especially the male. Because if you know anything about, you know, the sodomy rituals and all that stuff, you know that they tap into your energy. All of this is very, very strange. Check out the full video on my YouTube channel, because you know how TikTok can want to tussle all the time, and they mute everything, they block everything, they remove the sound of everything. So I can't really talk much about this, but I will talk about it on my YouTube channel, All Things Shani. But I do believe that Diddy was tapped into some serious dark magic. Not to say all spiritual stuff is black magic, because that's how people like to label it, but I believe Diddy was tapped into some serious stuff, especially when it comes to the eggs magic. It was a whole lot going on. Because what do you mean, sir? What do you mean? Let's get into the next one.
So when Satan and Luciferian orders, because what they're talking about in this trial is deep stuff. It is heavy stuff. It is dark stuff. It is making jurors gasp. It is making them unsettled, because you have to be in the right mindset and heart posture to understand and deal with these things and understand the root of it and the cause. So when Satan and Luciferian orders and the occult fragment people's minds and souls, they become very unstable. because what was born whole is now purposely fragmented in order to get different personalities to be used for different things. Think of a whole vase that falls on the floor and breaks into all these pieces. If you were to attempt to pour water in such, it would spill out everywhere because there's no whole vessel to contain it. So they have to keep these different personalities in order, and the way they do this is through trauma and programming to subdue and to bring out different personalities at different times, but also by fear and punishment, because the occult, the kingdom of darkness, is built on fear and competition and punishment. So they do this also by fear and punishment, that they have total control over that person and are deceived into believing that that person, that fragmented person in their mind and soul now, is, because they're not whole anymore, is easily deceived into believing you sold your soul, you made a covenant with death, you did these horrible things that we now have witnesses, you made a covenant with darkness, there is no way out, you belong to the underworld. This is how they enslave them. They start from the time that they're children. One of the enemies go-to methods in order to get somebody to the point where their soul and mind is fragmented, that they can be used for depths of darkness that we didn't even know humans were capable of. He starts when they're children, and he starts to cause deep, deep levels of trauma when they're children, because trauma tills the soil. The enemy can't do anything without a trauma first tilling the soil of the soul and the mind. So he begins an assault on an innocent child with deep levels of trauma in order to begin to separate them from innocence, from goodness, from the love of God, from right thinking. He begins to make them think that darkness is normal. He actually begins to make them nocturnal. You see, God has a sacred order of time. Darkness is supposed to submit and give way to the light. In Genesis, it says there was evening and then morning one day, because the darkness has to submit and give way to the light. What the enemy tries to do is reverse that when he does this to people, and he actually tries to cause them to live as a nocturnal being, to live operating in a level of darkness and oppression that many have never felt. And this is what he does. And he makes them believe from the time they're children that not only is this normal, but he traumatizes them to deep, deep levels. And then he comes like the snake that he is, and he goes, I have a power to offer you that's going to give you power to get yourself out of this deep pain you're in. So he's purposely traumatizing them to break them down so much that they are so desperate to get out of the pain that he can easily be the hero then and offer them the power. It is sculpted heroism is what it is. It is constructed within the confines of being somebody's tormentor and hero at the same time. So this is what he does, and he makes them believe there's no way out. They've sold their soul. As they get older and they get deeper and deeper and deeper into these things, that they have made a contract with death. That contract is irrevocable. That is a lie from the deepest pits of hell, because there is a way out, and his name is Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He shed his blood on Calvary. He shed his blood on the cross. He was the Passover lamb, and that blood is so far beyond any power or authority that Satan's kingdom has that it can nullify any covenant man would make with the kingdom of darkness, any covenant man makes with death, any way they sell their soul. It overrules, overrides, and renders its terms null and void. There is a way out. If you are in the occult, if you are in the middle of this, there is a way out, and his name is Jesus Christ. And he has been given power and authority from on high, and there is no principality, power, ruler of darkness, or Satan himself that comes anywhere close to the power and authority that Christ Jesus has. Satan sculpts that lie, and he does it by fragmenting the soul and fragmenting the mind, so they cannot wholly understand love. They cannot wholly, because love becomes abuse for them. That's the way Satan does it. Love is abuse. It's very twisted and it's very sick, and they can't wholly understand the selfless love of God that covers a multitude of sins. And this is how he entraps them. This is how P. Diddy was entrapped. This is how he was fragmented over time, from the time he was young, selling his soul in the music industry through groomers and handlers that ran record labels that put him in such bondage that his conscience became totally seared, and he operated in levels of darkness that if his soul were whole and his conscience would clear, he would never be able to stomach.
Not Diddy getting it from his mama. Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, has been accused of throwing S-parties in his childhood home. You guys, this entire situation is literally insane. This has been brought up in a recent Peacock documentary called Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. Tim Dog Patterson, a longtime friend of the family, alleges that guests at these parties included addicts, pimps, and individuals from the Harlem streets. In the documentary, he is claiming that it was not unusual to walk into a room where adults were engaging in activities. He also went on to allege that these early experiences may have influenced Diddy's controversies, as Diddy now faces federal charges for S-trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and related offenses. Diddy has denied the allegations with his legal team, asserting that he has never assaulted anyone or trafficked anyone. Low-key do believe that this is true, because in the past, Diddy has revealed that he lost his stuff when he was 12, and he also says that he learned a lot by watching PORN. In the Peacock documentary, Tim also went on to allege that Diddy's home was also filled with alcohol, devil's lettuce, and a range of troubling individuals. Now, I don't know how Diddy's mom got thrown into the mix, but you guys, this is literally insane. I'm curious to know what y'all think about this. Let me know.
This ain't flowers, y'all. This is chess. And 50 Cent just exposed the first move. 50 Cent ain't posting this for jokes. He posting this to show this was a message sent to him by P. Diddy. It was a warning wrapped in flowers. 50 Cent is a smart man, y'all. He know what he doing. He made this shit public to let y'all know. Think about it, y'all. Why would P. Diddy send 50 Cent flowers? He did this after he dropped the little documentary on him on Netflix. Diddy wasn't too happy about it. He tried to get the joint removed, but Netflix said, nah, we not removing it. The timing in the entertainment world is everything, y'all. 50 Cent is basically saying it without saying it. Like, if something weird happened to me, y'all know who did it. This man created a digital receipt. That's his protection. I'm not saying it's gonna fully protect him, and I'm not saying Diddy gonna do anything or have anything done. I'm just letting y'all know. But by him doing this and putting this out, he like, the whole world, y'all see this. So everybody is gonna be paying attention. No little crazy mishaps can really go on without somebody knowing. Maybe Diddy had something to do with it.
Okay, but let me tell y'all who I really felt sorry for the most in episode 1. Like, who hurt my heart. Like, I really felt for this man, because you could tell he was sincere about Diddy, about the career, about the trajectory of Bad Boy, about all of it. Kirk Burrows. When I say no good deed, this dude has been by your side through everything. Went with you to create Bad Boy, made it his business to make sure it succeeded. Obviously, as a black empire, one of the first in the music business, with a black owner, black executives, black staff, black artists. You give this man 25% stock in the company. So that right there tells everybody how Kirk was living, right? To get 25% stock in Bad Boy, he had to be doing something right. And he worked his behind off. You could tell he was loyal. Only to have Diddy come back and say, give it back to me. Give me the 25% stock back.
That's crazy.
No, ma'am. No. Diddy, no. He put what in the baby oil? He put...
Friend, pick up the phone. So I remember, like, when I was growing up, every time we would see Diddy in a video or on the song, we would be like, here he go. Because we knew that he was not talented. I always knew that Diddy just wanted to be a part of something, even though he had no real talent. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, you know how when you hear a song and you like, yeah. And then you hear him, you like, oh, shit. That's what it was, right? But I had no idea the level of evil until watching this documentary. That case, that court case, did not nearly pinch the surface of who that man is. Not was, is. And the way he slid across that stage and spun after allegedly being responsible for Tupac and Biggie's death is insane. And then everyone else that knew or had direct hand in information were either dead or in prison. There's so much that I want to talk about, but I know that y'all haven't watched it. But I just finished episode 3. I'm on 4 now. But in episode 3, I had to pause it, like process it a little bit, and be like, because what do you mean on the anniversary of Biggie's death, every year you had a freak off? What do you mean? And then the more I see the behind the scenes footage, I see a man that is a demon, y'all. Like, you could look in his eyes and you can see, like, he is not right. From a child, he probably has been fighting those demons. Ugh. All right, that's all I'm gonna give you.
Man, oh man, oh man. That Netflix documentary that 50 did on Diddy, exposing everything. Footage that was never, ever seen before. People that we've never seen before, exposing the truth about everything. Puffy, Diddy, whatever he calling himself now, is pissed because he tried his best to have that documentary stopped, completed, and now is trying to have that documentary taken down. But 50 Cent, being as smart as he is, man, him and his team make sure that they secured it where the documentary will stay on Netflix and will not come down. I'm going to say this right now. 50 ain't to be played with, bro. He ain't to be played with. I don't think 50 a billionaire like Diddy a billionaire or was a billionaire. I don't know how much all them attorney fees cost. But 50's not to be joked around with, man. He put the facts out there. I did not know that Diddy had another man fly in every year on Biggie Smalls' anniversary date that Biggie passed to have this guy smash his girl, man, for hours and for days. I didn't know that. The dude told the whole thing, man. And I was asking myself, man, where the heck did 50 get this footage at? And you know what I realized? When you're successful, you create enemies. The more money that you get, the more cockier that you become. Diddy was getting real cocky, talking to his staff crazy, security guards, ex-employees. So you know what? They had the footage on their phones from years and years and years. 50 pulled up with a bankroll and said, I'll take that. I'll take that. Here you go. And he sat on it for a long time. And he dropped it at the right moment, man. During the wintertime, man, when most people are in the house, man, watching television, trying to stay warm. I'm going to say this, man. Diddy can't do anything about this Netflix series. I'm telling you, man, it's bad. When I watched it, man, I ain't gonna lie. I watched all 4 episodes twice. It's crazy. If y'all ain't seen that Netflix documentary that 50 put out there, man, y'all need to rush. Y'all need to rush over there and check that documentary out, because I'm telling you, this is real drama, man. This is real drama. Diddy a dirty ass dude, man. Grimy. Y'all hear how he talked to his attorney when he was in that hotel trying to manipulate the system? Did y'all hear how when he was in the SUV after shaking people's hands and the guy gave him a jacket, a special jacket that was made for him, how Diddy's got in the SUV with his staff and said, I need to go take a bath. Give me the hand sanitizer. As if he's better than somebody. Just because you got money don't make you better than nobody. You know why? Because just like the rest of us, God got a date for you to check out. Just like he got a date for all of us to check out. But I ain't even going there, man. Go check that documentary out, man. Shout out to 50 Cent, man. You did your big one on collecting all that footage. That was a lot of footage over the years, bro. You guys go check it out, man. Thanks for watching.
Exhibit A, Diddy was a witch. Here's my proof.
Warlock
This is how this man looked at the time of this documentary. Right here. You see that? See his, come on now. Look at all that. Okay, 1 second. Hold on, hold tight. This is how he looked when he met Diddy. Because at first he was looking at that picture like, I know Diddy wasn't messing with that. Yeah, this is how he looked in the beginning. Look at that. I don't care. You don't go from this to that. This is why I wish that elders had told us more and went into deeper about waiting till marriage, or, watch who you sleep around, or cutting from the same cloth. I just felt like it was just like they was just rhyming. They wasn't really giving us the depth, the real reason that there was really vampires draining our souls out here. Just say that, Papa. Just say that, Grandma. You open your legs, the vampire's gonna steal your soul, and you may not get it back.
Tupac, Biggie, Heavy D, almost Albie Shore, Kim Porter, all them people at that school. Y'all, I finished watching Diddy's documentary produced by 50 Cent on Netflix yesterday, and so I grew up in the 2000s. I was born in 97, but grew up in the 2000s, and I vividly remember, Tupac being praised, Biggie being praised, and who shot Pac and who killed Biggie, it being a thing. And Diddy was on his rise, and I be missing you, like that whole era. I very much remember that. What I don't remember, however, is them ever talking about how 9 people were unalived at an event that he threw back in the 90s, a celebrity basketball game that resulted in the death of 9 people. So in a documentary, they talk about like that was his first taste of like getting away with stuff. Oh, and Miss Janice Combs, you are not off the hook, mamas. It's all your fault. Y'all, why was his mama dressing him like a pimp when he was a kid? Why was he at freak-offs before he was 15? The documentary shows how Diddy was literally just a normal, nerdy kid that had a dream of being this huge mogul, but greedy for power, and he wanted all the attention, really. He literally envied everybody around him, like that had more power and clout than him. He wanted all of their girlfriends. He wanted their jobs. He wanted everything. The scary part is he was willing to do whatever to get it. And that alone, I'm just trying to still figure out how all of this is out here, and he really only got 50 years. I mean, it's not rocket science because he's been paying his way out of everything, but damn. If you ask me, it's a bunch of cases that need to be reopened, starting with Kim Porter, Biggie, and Tupac. Because not you hired Crips. And another thing, you was partying with Justin? Your son? Allegedly your son? Oh, or maybe I'm supposed to say allegedly not your son. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. And poor Cassie. She was only 19 when y'all started dealing with each other. Like, God bless her. What I really gathered from all of this, though, is that he is like a raging narcissist. Like, it is really sick how you put all these people on, but you had to be in every last video, every last promotion, just wanted all of the attention. Ew, it's just disgusting. How about I even remember the Making the Band era, and then you turned around and made a band, Dirty Money, to compete with them? And I was just so young. I didn't understand that all this was going on. Like, Diddy was that guy. Like, you're a monster. The fact that Biggie paid for his own funeral. The fact that you begged him to stay in LA when he was supposed to be in the UK on a press tour, and then he just miraculously passed because you made him cancel his flight. Ew. The fact that Keefe D admitted that y'all hired him. The documentary is actually crazy. Everybody go watch it.
Y'all, if you have not seen the Diddy documentary on Netflix, The Reckoning, you need to watch it. First of all, when I started watching, this is only episode 1 that we're doing. I thought 50 Cent was a Scorpio. I went so quick to ChatGPT. I was like, what is his zodiac sign? Because no one wants to get into any altercation and or any disagreement with 50 Cent. Because this man plays the long game, and he's going to get all of your dirt. If he has to travel the world to get the dirt on you, he will. while watching this documentary, I learned so much about the whole Diddy situation. And one of the things that stuck with me is the fact that a lot of people were now starting to talk, but these people have been around him for so long and they never talked or say anything about what was happening because it didn't happen to them. That is one of the reasons why I said that people don't care about your problems. They're glad that it's your problems and not theirs, right? So it all started with, in my opinion, everything started with Diddy's parents, right? Diddy's parents. His mom was dressing him up like a pimp when he was like 2 years old. I mean, this man was being dressed like a pimp when he was 2 years old. And then on top of that, his dad was a UGG dealer who basically was unalived while Diddy was very young. So he did not have the proper male role model around him to teach him things, right? And even if his father was alive, I don't think his father would have been the best role model for him. But because he wasn't alive, it made things 10 times harder, because now the mom has to do miscellaneous work, which in my opinion, it sounded like she was doing also some ex work as well, but she had to do whatever she needed to do to raise this man. But in my opinion, this man, the lady, Janice Combs, was turning Diddy into the man that she wished that she had. Because at the end of the day, the mom ended up turning Diddy into this devil that we see today. And that is the reason why he does not respect her. He'll raise his hand on her allegedly and cuss her out, call her out of her name. Because the woman, she was the one that basically created this monster. This lady had a dance floor in her living room because she was the first one who started the whole partying situation. Because she would throw parties at her house and the whole town will come. Everybody knew about Janice Combs' parties. She had a dance floor in the living room. Diddy, it would be like 12 o'clock or it would be super late. He's doing, the devil's lettuce, leaving the house, won't be home until so late. Imagine a child being raised like this, right? From there on, Diddy became exactly what he saw, what he grew up around. So he became the life of the party. He started throwing parties himself. And then, when he ended up having the whole party, well, first of all, he started throwing parties, became very popular. Although he was not, they didn't have much. Diddy grew up going to private schools. He wasn't living in like the ghetto or anything. He grew up going to private schools. And one thing about it is this man, we cannot take it away from him, that he is a very smart man. Cunning, but very smart. He's very smart, very manipulative, very diabolical, very cunning. From what I was watching, 50 Cent took us through everything from when he was a child up until he became this demonic person. Like, you can see the transition and you can see the transformation of Diddy, but I felt like there was always something there ever since he was a child, but it wasn't as bad. And I think children are a product of their environment. And because this man saw so many things going on while he was growing up, his mom, in my opinion, was grooming him, allegedly, to become the person that he is today. So he started working, started throwing parties, being the most popular guy, and apparently he was not packing down there, right? So a lot of his ego came from the fact that he was lacking down there, right? So he started throwing parties to the point where he had this party where 9 to 10 people were unalive at this party. And that's when the devil was created, because Diddy, what he did was he transmuted the energy. It was like something negative that happened, and then he got on television, because at that point it was all over the newspapers, all over the news, everything, everybody was watching. Diddy stepped on that stage and started taking the blame for what happened. Yes, he should have taken the blame, but he twisted the mind of the people by saying, oh, this was all my fault, da 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 da. And of course, they're not going to blame him for what happened. It was just a party. There's something that happened at the party where unfortunately so many people had to lose their life, but they weren't going to blame because he did not, he wasn't the one that did the unaliving. It was just wrong place, wrong time, and a party where the doors wouldn't open and there was a stampede where a lot of people were unalived. But that's when the demon came out of Diddy, where he basically twist the energy, twist the situation and transmute it into his favor, where he got a whole lot out of it. Create a problem, and then there's a solution, right? So that's kind of the MO that Diddy was going with. So then he ended up meeting Andre Harrell. And the way he met him is because he was going to that person that knew him house every day, knocking on the door, asking to be introduced to Andre Harrell. He was a very determined young man. He did not want to hear a no. No was not in his vocabulary. And I can understand that. He was a Scorpio too. He is a Scorpio. And I was like, you know what? Everything that's happening and the way he was playing the long game, because just like 50 Cent, like if something happened to him, he will lay low until he get what he wants. And that's how he ended up with Kim Porter, because he really, really wanted Kim Porter. And, you know, Kim Porter was seeing I'll Be Sure at the time. But anyways, let's go back to the Andre Harrell. So then he finally got introduced to Andre Harrell. He gave him a position or a job, an intern, as, you know, the coffee boy. Diddy started doing so good to the point where he would go ask him for coffee, and within 2 minutes he had the coffee, because Diddy would run and get the coffee. And Andre Harrell was like, oh my God, I need this in my life because I need my coffee and I need it quick. And this man is showing that he can do the work, so he hired him to do that. And what really surprised me, or really, I was actually really amazed when I saw this, he got the job, right, as an intern to bring coffee. He did not stop running to get the coffee because he get the job. You know, when after you get a job, the first 2 weeks you're doing good, and then afterwards you just start slacking. Well, this man wanted to move up in the ladder, so he continues to get the coffee as fast, because now the Andre Harrell is thinking, well, who's going to get my coffee this fast, you know? So I'm going to keep this man. And basically he was playing chess and not checkers, right? Got the coffee and everything, was the best intern, then he got promoted to something better. And then he keep getting promoted to better things and better things and better things. Because what happened was Andre Harrell ended up hiring or getting a new group, like R&B group put together, and he basically just gave it to Diddy and say, hey, make this group, make sure you do something good out of them, make something good out of them, but this is your responsibility. And that's when everything started. Diddy was like, oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for all my life. This man came from out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he grew, he climbed the ladder so fast that people who were there were not even getting the positions that he was getting. So in my opinion, that was another smart move, right? So he started doing that, and then he started managing Mary J. Blige, and of course, as a manager, he's going to get a cut. And now he have to get rid of Andre Harrell, because he's the one that's getting all of the majority of the money, right? So now he wants his position. And this man did whatever he could to get that guy's position. But I tell you guys, remember I made a video about Janice Combs? I said, if you want to know where the situation started, follow the money and follow the mother. Well, Janice Combs have a whole lot to talk about. This lady is what? She's the one that created this monster. And all these people who are finally talking, it's because something finally happened to them. And that's why they're talking, because they didn't care about Diddy. They didn't care about, Cassie, while Diddy was doing all these things. And I know there's a clip on there we mentioned about the man, the ex-worker who Diddy would hire, and then he would collect his swimmers. And in my opinion, there ain't nothing more you're doing with another man's swimmers than some sort of ritual. Diddy was doing some sort of ritual. Diddy was tapping into something a lot darker. And after watching this documentary and thinking about when Young Miami was like, oh, he didn't raise his hand on me, he never touched me, I beg to differ. I don't believe you, ma'am. I don't believe you, because this man, I don't see this man blacks out, I don't see him just sparing your life because you're Young Miami. Okay, I just don't see that, because this man seems to be the devil, and he does not listen to anyone. He gets exactly what he wants, and there's nothing you can do about it. So in my opinion, this documentary was one of the best ones I've seen. And I don't really watch documentaries like that, unless it's like educational. I don't really watch. But this one, let's get into episode 2, because that one was crazy. Like I said, we're going to touch up some stuff on this book. So in this book is called Spell of Abundance, Love, Wealth, and Protection. So in this book, on the first page, actually, I have a glamour affirmation that you will basically say, you stand in front of the mirror and you stare at yourself and you admire yourself, and you will say to yourself how beautiful you are. You'll basically seal your beauty, like your glam, after you've done your makeup, or even stand in front of the mirror naked with nothing on, so you can really reaffirm yourself of your beauty, of your confidence and all that. This book is mainly for like self-confidence and self-elevation, you know, calling the goddess in you, calling the divinity in you, you know, calling the beauty in you. And also work with the moon, because the moon represents the woman, the mother, womb, water, all of this. So yeah, I have all the steps in here of all the spells that you need to do. It even has one for to get rid of unwanted guests. It's pretty funny. To get rid of unwanted guests. And this book right here, right? So I'm gonna run down real quick of all the materials that you're going to need. You will need a brand new broom. It has to be brand new. And you'll need a piece of parchment paper, a black pen, a black trash bag, because we're going to get rid of this sucker, right? And of course your intentions. And also I have spells on here that you can say. I have daily affirmations. And also I have spells on here that you can do every single day to work with the energy of the planets of the day, and also the archangels that work with the day. So anyways, there's so many spells. There's a 7-day manifestation spell with archangels. And let's see. A 30-day money spell with bay leaves and the Fihu sign, which is a money sign. It's like an F with the extra part. Anyways, the symbol is there, and I even show you like what you need to do, what the sigil look like, all that. And the keys to enhance your spell. So there are different things on here on how to enhance your spell, and basically grow your finance, grow your love, self-love, self-admiration, chance to say to yourself to give you that extra energy to go about your day. And also tips to enhance your spell. Oh, I already said this. And morning coffee abundance prosperity spell. You guys remember I just shared a video about morning coffee and how important it is when it comes to hoodoo, and how you can basically use your first cup of coffee in the morning to manifest a better life or a better day, or to bring forth money to you. So don't let, you know, you're already doing these things anyway, so you might as well just incorporate something a little bit extra to basically boost your thing. And here's to influence your boss spell. So this one, I'm sure people who are actually working are going to love this. It's to influence your boss and attract favors towards you at work. Because look, in this economy, we're all working and we need some boost at work, and we also sometimes need to be tied to our job, so therefore you don't get fired. You know what I mean? So there's some stuff that you could do to basically tie yourself to your job, and or tie the job to you. And once you're done and you're all tired of that job, you can get rid of it. It's not something that's completely permanent, but use magic, guys. It's here for you to use. You have the herbs in your closet, you have the herbs in your pantry, you have the candles that you could just simply buy some candles super cheap. Use magic to elevate your life. Use magic to make yourself better. Let me tell you, Jesus was out here using magic, okay? Walking on water and stuff and turning water into wine. Sounds like magic to me. But anyways, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.